Now, let's go to Precision Sharpening in the app. So Dr. Royer, you've logged into the Inner Armor app, and like before, you've now opened Sharpening, and you're now at HTS. We have 2 exercises for today, Pursuits and Saccades. Each are 3 minutes long. For these exercises, you do not need the glasses. So we've put the glasses aside and hit Begin Sessions. Okay, like before, you can see your historical performance, whether you've achieved a star or not. And then you can see image speed and image size. These settings have been preset. There's no changes that you need to make as the user. And with that, we can get started or move to the continue frame. All right, so here we see on the screen that we do not need our red-blue glasses. We've already put them aside. Again, we want to check that if we're using a tablet, we have it in landscape mode, and we want to check the distance to which we're sitting away from the screen. So move a little closer if we need to. Around 16 to 18 inches is the goal. All right, let's hit continue. So for pursuits, we're going to see an E, a capitalized letter E on the screen. And that E will be moving around the screen. And what we want to do is the direction that the E is facing, we want to use the controller to click that way. So if the E is facing to the right, we move the controller to the right. If it's up, we click up, down, down, and so forth. And in the pursuits, we're going to be working on the skill of visual tracking. And as we talked about in the last exercise, it's very important whether you're in the classroom or on the athletic field that you are learning how to track with both eyes in a binocular way to increase your visual speed and accuracy. Doc, any questions before we get started?
I do know that there's a pause between when it pops up, the E.
Yes.
And so your key is to stay in a preparation mode for that. You're not going to move it faster or slower by hitting it, but the speed at which you respond to it is being measured. So that's super important that you stay attentive to what's going on the screen.
Very good point. So wait for it to change, and as soon as you see it change, the letter E, then respond as quickly as possible. But always try to be right.
Right.
Okay. So now Doc has started, and he's waiting for it to change, and now the direction changes, and he responds. And now we want to make sure we're not using our head to move around the screen and track. We want to be using our eyes to move around the screen as we watch and track the E. And this is what we want to be doing in real life. You don't want your head or your shoulders to always be moving like this. You want to use your muscles and your eyes to track and pursue something, whether it's in the classroom, the boardroom, or on the athletic field. So we're going to do this for 3 minutes, and once we've achieved that 3-minute goal, then we'll move on to the next exercise. Okay, so we can see here that the goal is to get 80% and an average response time of half a second. In this session, Doc did not achieve that goal, so he did not get a star. But he will continue working and hopefully get it the next time. We finished pursuits. Now we're next on to saccades. Click Begin Session. Okay. So now we're on the screen, we can see our historical performance, and we can see that we need to achieve 12 stars to get past this. The image size is already set, so we do not need to change anything there. Go ahead, Doc, and click Continue. All right, we've put our red-blue glasses aside. They're not needed for this exercise, and if we're using a tablet or an iPad, we've put that into landscape mode. And the last thing to check is that we're within 16 to 18 inches away from the screen. When we're ready, we click Continue. Okay, so in saccades, we're going to work on quickly responding to the direction of the arrow on the screen. There will be an arrow that's at random spots within the screen. And the direction the arrow is pointing, we want to click that direction. It will only be left or right. Speed is the name of the game here, but also accuracy. You want to get as many arrow directions correct as possible throughout the 3-minute session. When we're ready, hit begin. So now Doc is working through the exercise. You can see here on the screen that the arrow can show up anywhere. It could be top left corner, bottom right. But Doc needs to use his focus and his saccadic eye movement to correctly respond to the direction of the arrow as fast as possible. Doc, how are you doing?
Good. I think I can sense, as when I've done this before, that my issue is not so much speed, but accuracy. Is like I want to kind of go faster than I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I make some mistakes, but then it's that balance between the two. And somebody else might be different, where they're so locked in on accuracy that they have no speed. I think the second thing is I'm wanting to move my head a lot, which is not good. I need to be able to use my eye muscles for movement, not my body, because I'll get fatigued real quickly if I try to use my neck or my body, not just in this, but in sports and in academics and in the workplace. So yeah, those are a couple things I'm noticing.
So Pursuits and Saccades, that continues and wraps up our exercises in precision sharpening.